Man, I'm really craving some McDonald's today. Maybe I'll actually just go get pizza instead. Or maybe I'll go to the store and get some tasty snacks for tonight. Wait, actually, I think they're having free food and alcohol at the Rager party we're going to tonight. I have a suggestion. Stop. Stop what you're doing, because if this applies to you, you most likely need to stop and think about the negative effects that these decisions are going to have on your health. In this video, I'm actually going to dive into that. And more specifically, I'm diving into how to fix your testosterone levels using some foods that boost testosterone. So let's get into it. In general, the most important factors to consider when it comes to testosterone boosting foods is number 1, healthy fats, number 2, cholesterol, number 3, vitamin D, and number 3, zinc. And that's exactly what we're going to keep in mind when we discuss the foods in this video. So number 1 is going to be beef, and more specifically, it's going to be ribeye steak. And that's because this cut of beef is loaded with healthy fats, which are critical for testosterone production. The high levels of saturated fats in this ribeye are going to help synthesize hormones, mainly testosterone. And that's really not all. It's also rich in zinc, which is also essential for testosterone levels. So if you can eat about 3 to 4 steaks every week, that's great, but best case scenario, if you can, is to eat 1 steak every single day. Obviously that sounds like a lot, and I don't always do this, but I promise the results will be worth it. And then number 2, we have fish, and more specifically is salmon. Salmon is the number 1 fish for improving your testosterone levels. And that's because this fish is loaded with omega-3 fatty acids. And these fatty acids are going to help regulate your hormones, like your testosterone, but also they improve your heart health, which is also obviously an added benefit. Salmon is also rich in vitamin D, which, like we mentioned before, increases testosterone levels. And then number 3 is eggs. And definitely don't skip the yolk part of the egg, because that's exactly the most important part for testosterone production. Eggs are a fantastic source of obviously protein and some healthy fats, but most importantly, they include healthy levels of cholesterol. And you might be thinking, isn't cholesterol a bad thing? Well, not exactly, because it actually increases your testosterone, which is a healthy thing. Just eat them in moderation. Just have around about 4 eggs every single day. Cholesterol is going to help produce more testosterone in your body naturally. And don't skip this, because this next part's only going to take about 20 seconds, and it actually relates quite a bit to the video. But in general, along with making all these valuable videos, I also have created a full bodybuilding guide, which you can find in the top link of the description down below. Now, I spent 3 months working on this, and I included some of the best exercises, the best workouts, best nutrition, best foods for increasing your testosterone, and even some foods that decrease testosterone. Now, I packed as much value as I could in this guide, so be sure to go check that out if you really want to skyrocket your fitness results. Now let's get back to the video. And number 4 is shellfish, and more specifically is oysters. Oysters are going to be perfect because they are loaded with zinc. And like I said, any shellfish will work, but oysters are going to be the best option for you. Zinc is one of the most important minerals for increasing testosterone, and it plays a direct role in synthesizing the hormone itself. And it's so important that if you're low in zinc, you're probably low in testosterone as well. So incorporating shellfish into your diet is definitely a smart move. And number 5 on this list, I'm going to combine nuts and seeds. And I'm grouping them together like that because they're both very similar, and because they both have similar functions for testosterone production. And they're both very good sources of healthy fats. And that's kind of the main thing with nuts and seeds, sort of like the salmon and the steak that we mentioned before. Along with the healthy fats, they also contain zinc and magnesium, which are both, obviously, like we already mentioned, very, very crucial for testosterone production. Not only even do these help with testosterone production, but they also help with overall brain function and overall health as well. So it's generally a good idea to implement nuts and seeds into your diet. And so that's basically the 5 foods that will help increase your testosterone. But that's not it. We're not quite done. Now that I've done this, I want to add a bonus part of this video and include some of the foods that decrease your testosterone. And this will be pretty quick, so I'm just going to list some of them. I'm not going to go too in depth. So the first food that decreases your testosterone, I just labeled as processed junk foods. Now, obviously this is very generalized, so I'm going to list a few of the examples that I've come up with, and that's like bagged chips, most cereals, fast foods, and like other foods that are processed. Number 2 is soy protein. So soy protein is basically like a fake protein that you won't find in any of the actual healthy foods that I've mentioned here. You'll find a lot of soy protein in some of the protein bars and protein drinks that a lot of stores will sell. Now, a lot of brands will just pack a bunch of soy protein into their products just so that they can market and say, oh, there's 35 grams of protein. Like, a lot of it is most likely soy protein, so just be sure to check the label before you buy something. But what I would suggest is actually just sticking to like some of the foods that I mentioned today. So like the steak, the eggs, the fish, and even some dairy products as well. I would stick to the base ingredient protein sources because that's going to be your real protein. Stay away from soy because it actually has a negative effect. Number 3 is flax seeds. Obviously it's a seed, but it's one of the exceptions to the seeds and nuts that I listed. Flax seeds are actually going to increase your estrogen, which by definition will decrease your testosterone. And then 4th that I put on this list for foods that'll decrease testosterone is any form of added sugars. So I'm not talking about natural sugars like orange juice or like any other fruits. I'm talking about added sugars. These will obviously decrease testosterone as well. And that does it for this video. Again, be sure to check out that full bodybuilding guide that I've linked first and in a description down below. And check that out if you want to dive straight into bodybuilding and actually see fitness results very quickly. And be sure to subscribe for more content like this. I post 3 videos every single week talking about fitness. And like the video if you found it valuable. And of course, stay persistent. And most importantly, take care.